Hi. So tonight I'm going to show you guys how to make lemon chicken. This is the way I do it. There's many different ways to make lemon chicken. This is more of a French, Italian version of lemon chicken. I like to bread my chicken and dredge it in a little bit of flour before I do it. And it also makes chicken piccata at the same time if you add the capers at the end of the process. I don't have any capers. I'm at my sister's in San Antonio right now, but anyway, stay with me and I hope you enjoy this, and if I have time I'll show you how to make some great fresh green beans as well. Thank you. First thing we're going to do is slice our lemons. We'll get them all sliced up and pretty. Like them a little thin. I thought these were noble, but they do. It looks like they do have some seeds in them, so I'll try and get those out. One thing here is I noticed that my little cutting board that I'm using is wobbly and loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put something under it to keep it stable. I'll use a wet or damp washcloth, and that will help me from sliding all over the place and cutting myself. Now my sister's knives are a little dull, but we're gonna get there. Okay, so I got some lemons cut. I'll have another lemon to get some juice from. If you find you have too many lemons, then just make some lemonade. Okay, and in this recipe, we're going to use some garlic. I'm going to do probably about 3 cloves. We'll see how nice and moist this garlic is. Maybe 4, just to make sure. So rather than sitting here and peeling every piece and having a heck of a time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and press down on them, on the cloves, and then it makes it a lot easier to get those peels off. And that looks like a good garlic clove right there. If I didn't get it enough, I can just do it again. There we go. Because we're going to mince this garlic up so that it goes in and we don't get big bites of garlic. You can put it in a garlic press too if you like to do that. Just depends. I hate to clean garlic presses, so I just do it by hand all the time. That one's got a little green on it, so I'm going to cut that little part off. Cut the little hard parts off. And then I'm just going to kind of mince it together and smash it a little more, just so it's getting all the good juices out of it. Nothing like fresh garlic. If you are a lover of garlic, you need to make sure that you marry someone else who's a lover of garlic, or else they won't want to kiss you all the time. unfortunately my husband eats anything I cook, so, and he loves garlic, as he lived in Italy for a little bit. Okay, so that looks really, really good. Now for this lemon chicken, it's really a simple dish. It's garlic, lemons, a little butter. You're going to use a little bit of Chardonnay. I use probably about 1/4 to 1/2 cup. If you are not a drinker, you can use a tablespoon of white vinegar and just splash it in your pan before you add your liquid, and it will give it that little bit of a flavor that the wine will give it. Not exact, but it's close. And then we'll use a little bit of cream, or half and half, and then I use about 1 cup of a good chicken stock. So now I've got those done. I'm gonna just push that to the side. No reason to put it on another plate. I always do the chicken last so that it doesn't make a mess. I'm gonna rinse my knife off here real quick. So sometimes all you have a choice on fresh chicken breast is some big fat cutlets. I'll usually just trim them off, and then I'm gonna cut that one in half. Because really 1/2 of that is pretty much a serving. Depends on how you want to make it and how many. You can cut those in half as well. And this recipe will serve about 4 to 6 people, depending on what you have going with it. So trim that one off. And then this one I had already trimmed. And that one as well. So now I'm just going to do a little trick that helps to make this a nice, juicy, and tender piece of chicken. Let me get my lemons out of the way. I'm going to use my butter here in the dish, so I'm just going to put my lemons, let them sit here with this. Try and get some of those seeds out. Nobody wants to eat seeds. And it's no worries, because lemons with seeds in them are very tasty and good. And these lemons are very juicy. Okay. Now, got our lemons ready. So, got my chicken here. I am going to cover it in plastic wrap and beat it just a little bit to make the pieces tender, and it'll help tenderize it. You can soak your chicken in something if you'd like, but really then that takes a lot of time. I'd say if you're doing fried chicken or a dish like that, it's a good idea. We want these to present nice, so I'm going to cover them in a little bit of plastic wrap. plastic wrap's going to keep you from getting chicken juice everywhere. And I know my sister has a rolling pin somewhere, but we will just do it with this little tiny rolling pin for now. And you want to give it like a medium pound, because if you pound it too much, then you're going to break the chicken fibers apart, and you don't want to do that. But this will help make the cut really nice and tender. Right. That should be enough. Now, because I like pepper, I'm going to just put a little bit of ground pepper on these cutlets. A bit of salt. Might do a little of this sea salt. I can't get any out of that one. This is a fine sea salt. And that way we'll get some saltiness into the chicken when we bite into it. Put those over. One thing, the way my mother taught me how to cook was to not dirty all the pans in the house. And when I did food service, I always tried to do that, and I try and cook things that only require minimum utensils and supplies. Okay, now, so we want to get these cutlets breaded, and then I'm going to put them in our oil, which I have over here. I'm going to start heating that up, and then I'll bring our camera over and show you. More pepper on this side. Everything's better with garlic and pepper. Already salted those. So now I just like to use a paper plate usually, so I can just throw the whole thing away when I get done. Just gonna dredge those in flour. This is a quick and easy dish, and it is absolutely delicious. I use Angelhair pasta to put it on when I do my sauce, and it's even better the next day if you have any left over. Now, the magic of the camera, I'm gonna move it over there so you can watch me cook this. Be right back. turn this up just a little, and then we'll lay our chicken in here. If there's not enough, this is the only size pan I can find, and if there's not enough room, I'll just do a few and then add some to it in a minute after I get them sauteed. And do that small piece right there. Then after I get them browned, I'm going to add the lemons and the garlic. I'll have the garlic kind of saute a little bit before I get them done. Now after I get all these pieces in here, I probably am not going to have a lot of this oil left. This is, like I said, it's about 1/4 cup. If you do find you have too much oil, pour the excess off. I just wanted to make sure that I could get these browned appropriately. Okay, we'll let those go. And while we're doing that, I'm going to crank my little fire up on my pasta. And we're using an Angelhair pasta. You can use any kind of pasta you like. I love Angelhair pasta. And Angelhair will cook really quick. I'm not an al dente person. I do like my pasta a little bit more cooked because I want it to absorb the sauce. But that's a personal preference, and I hear different people have different preferences on that. Let that get down in there. Check it. I've already salted the water. And let's dip our chicken. Always adjust your heat. Make sure you're not going too high. Now that's ready to go in there. Now we allow about 4 or 5 minutes on the pasta, a little longer if I need it to, but we'll boil it for 4 to 5 minutes. If you're doing a regular size spaghetti, you're going to do it probably up to 10 minutes, or a different type, whatever type, if you're doing fettuccine or whatever type of pasta you're doing. I'm getting that nice, starting to get nice and golden. Probably move these to the side and get my other 2 pieces in. Just put that on top and let it keep cooking. Bottoms. Okay, my pasta's looking done. I've turned this down a little bit Gonna turn off my pasta, let it sit for a couple minutes before I drain it. This back up. My chicken is looking nice and golden, very beautiful. That for a minute. See how beautiful that is. Okay, so I drained my pasta. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of olive oil on that. Toss it in, keep it from sticking. You can put cold water on pasta to keep it from sticking if you're not going to be serving it in a while, but I like just to serve it warm with a little bit of olive oil on it or butter. And since it's already got salt in it, it is salty enough. Now, back to our chicken. Looks like we've got some pretty golden, beautiful pieces. The nice thing about the little bit of flour that you've put on it and toasted and browned, that is going to help make your sauce. Again, I watch how other people do this and they pull the chicken out. I don't do that. I am going to get a spoon though and get a little bit of this oil out because it's a little more than I like. Even though it's olive oil and you could just eat it like it is. Do spread our chicken out. Just sprinkle my garlic in. And we'll raise our heat just a minute. Garlic gets into my sauce. After I get them going a little bit, put that chicken again. Make sure all those garlic pieces are getting in the oil. Now I'm going to deglaze the pan with a little bit of wine that we have. I'm going to add, squeeze some lemon juice in here from our lemons. Oh, the smell of this is so good. We'll throw our other lemons in. I do like to get a little bit of lemon zest in there as well. I didn't show you how to do that. But that is something that makes it good. Then we're going to add our butter, about 4 tablespoons of butter. Seems like a lot, but trust me, it makes it good. And then after that's deglazed, I'm going to go into a high heat. Put our half and half. If you have heavy cream, that's better, but I didn't, so I used half and half. It will work pretty good as well. I'm going to let that cook down. I'm going to add a little parsley to that. I didn't have fresh parsley, so I'm just using dried. You can always make do if you have a little bit of dill. You can use a little bit of dill. I don't like the overly flavor of the dill though. Hey, little dog. Okay. Now we're going to move that around. Make sure it's getting under. Everything. We'll let that cook down and let our sauce thicken a little bit. I am going to cover it for just a minute. Just partially. And then we'll come back in a few minutes and I'll show you how it looks. And now we're going to plate it and see how tender this chicken is. I've let it cook down for about 5 minutes. Get some of our angel hair pasta on the plate. Get one of these nice you can make this, if you want a thicker sauce, you can always make that sauce thicker. I like a good thin lemon sauce. Anyway, it's that easy.